Welcome to Who Knew. We are fans of the current series of Doctor Who, and here we discuss our likes, dislikes, and insights into the modern regeneration of the show. Today's episode is the 2006 Christmas special, The Runaway Bride. This would be the second Christmas special, creating a tradition. Something old.
The Rachnos.
Something new.
Donna Noble.
Something borrowed.
Killer Santas.
And something blue.
The TARDIS!
The what?
That's not even a proper word!
This episode is written by Russell T. Davis, directed by Euros Lyn, and it first aired on the 25th of December 2006 and was watched by 9.35 million viewers. Hi, this is Eugene. Let's introduce ourselves.
Hi, this is Brian.
This is Arlene.
This is Josh.
Hello, this is Auburn.
Oh, wait, this is Kelsey.
And this is Frank.
The story begins at the wedding of Donna Noble. She is walking down the aisle when suddenly she begins to shimmer and is transported to the TARDIS, appearing before a bewildered doctor.
Now they start the whole scene, which is really nice. Shot at the moon, panning down into the earth again, which I love.
Yeah, echoing the Rose and I believe
Christmas
Christmas
Invasion.
Invasion.
Yeah.
So it's the third time they've done that.
And they actually reshot that scene in the TARDIS for this.
Yeah.
So it's not the same scene that we saw at the end of Doomsday.
Oh, with
But they
Kevin Tate.
reenacted
Yep.
it as precisely as they could, but because of a different director who chose
Cinematographer. Director of photography.
also
Actually,
because they had
director.
different lighting and all that,
yeah.
so they shot it differently.
Yeah, Doctor Who at this time had two separate directors of photography, and they had very different styles. So one liked more of greens, and the other one likes golds.
Yeah, the green one was Ernest Vincennes, and the gold one was Rory Taylor.
And it was, so if you look at the end of Doomsday, the glow on the characters is very green. And so when the new director and the new director of photography came in, they reshot it because it wouldn't match at all.
I think that was a good call, even if you weren't doing the lighting, because the whole mood at the end of Doomsday is
Yeah.
completely different. And I also like that they didn't start with that scene at the beginning of this episode, that we see the same thing from like Donna's perspective. We
Yeah.
start on Earth and then see her kind of how she got into
Yep.
the TARDIS. I thought that was a good call.
You know, somebody somewhere split screened and watched them together. There's probably something on YouTube, I bet, of the two together.
Well, David Tennant does say on the commentary that they had the DVDs running when they were refilming it because they were trying really hard to match it.
The continuity.
I don't really think you'd notice. I mean, sometimes you can notice, especially with hair. Sometimes the hair looks
Yeah.
different. But no, this one, yeah, I think you could watch Doomsday and then run right into this, and you really wouldn't think about it.
So, Eugene, how long did the British viewers have to wait between Doomsday and the Christmas special?
Well, Doomsday aired in July of that year, and then this Christmas special, The Runaway Bride, aired in December of the same year, so about roughly 6 months.
Cool.
And those months are the same in Britain?
Yes.
Okay.
The Imperial month?
Not in the metric system.
A metric month. Lousy smarch weather.
The Doctor is truly perplexed as to how she was able to appear inside the TARDIS. Donna tries to escape, but when she opens the door, she sees that they are in outer space. He explains that he is an alien, and this is his spaceship. Donna demands that he take her to the church. As the Doctor sets the coordinates, she finds Rose's top and accuses the Doctor of abducting other women. He tells her that it belonged to his friend, but he lost her. Her anger subsides a little when she sees the pain on his face. The Doctor grabs the top and sets the TARDIS for Chiswick.
I really like the way the tone shift when they were looking out the door.
Yes.
It was extremely comedic, and then it went to this real somber, emotional place. But it didn't seem like it was two different shows. Like a lot of times when that happens, you say, the show didn't know what it wanted to be. But that's something about this whole series, I think, that they're really good at.
I also like Donna's first question after the reveal when she opens the doors and she sees outer space and she accepts it. I like that her first question is, how am I breathing? So she's accepted it and is trying to figure things out. And to me, it's almost like I could see the Doctor going, this is companion material. Somebody isn't freaking out. So I liked that. Up till now, it had been kind of this...
Like screwball comedy.
Yeah, and Donna's yelling and freaking out and just being very silly. And then there is that moment, like you were saying, the tone shifts. And I think we needed that tone shift this early so that we begin to like Donna.
her responses to things I feel are more true to how I would respond in situations.
I think she just brings me back to what's logical. Sometimes a companion or even anything that's happening on Doctor Who, you're like, okay, there's no reason for that to happen. And Donna's very logical about all the decisions that she makes. And I love it.
But she also is emotional because you can see that the doctor's in pain and hurting when he talks about Rose. What's going on? Why is he hurting so much? She has that empathy aspect as well.
Yeah, that's a great little moment when she's yelling at him and then he talks about her and she sees that he changes.
Yeah, it's really nice because not a lot of people would do that.
I see as like she's being polite. It's like manners take over, and she's like, oh, okay.
I don't know about polite, but more of her fear starts going away. Like, okay, there's something about him that is nice and he cares about this person and he clearly didn't mean to get me here. So she actually sees all of that in that response and his emotion. So that's for her, it's like, okay, my fear is not that bad anymore. I'm not fighting for my life because someone abducted me and I'm in space somewhere. So now just get me back.
Yeah, because at this point, I wouldn't say the word for Donna is polite.
And, we go through all of that, and I like how it ends on the button. It's a little cold. And then they close the door.
As her parents and guests try to find out where she went, the TARDIS lands in an entirely different area of London because something is affecting it. Donna leaves the TARDIS and attempts to get a taxi. As the doctor gets money from an ATM, he notices 3 musicians wearing the same old-fashioned Santa costumes that tried to kill him a year ago. He looks over and sees Donna getting into a taxi with a Santa as the driver. He hurries to the TARDIS and follows her. Donna notices that the cab is going the wrong way and pulls off the driver's Santa mask to reveal a robot. She frantically tries to escape the moving taxi and sees the TARDIS flying towards her. It pulls up next to the speeding taxi, and the doctor convinces Donna to jump from the taxi into the TARDIS.
I love this chase scene. I mean, the way it's set up, the physics behind how the TARDIS moves and hits cars and swirls around. And then the thing that really cements this for me is the 2 kids cheering them on silently. Doctor Who is 4 kids, and then you have 2 kids on screen cheering for the Doctor. It's like a little microcosm as to what people do on Saturday nights when they're watching this.
I want to know if they're going to have another kind of Elton story.
Right.
With the kids that are in there.
And it's weird that something like this normally would be saved for the third act, the climactic third act.
Right.
But it works in the first act.
I thought it was great imagery. There's a few you could see some of the cheese of the special effects that they could do, but overall, it looked like that there was a spinning phone booth right in the middle of the highway.
And when it lands on the one car, the whole car goes down. You can see the pressure of it coming down. Which is, again, this is 10 years ago or so. The effects are really done well.
Yeah,
I think for what they had.
Even the
It was a
later
lot
effects of the villain at the end, I thought were pretty good, which we'll talk about. But I also got a big kick out of in the beginning of the chase when they first got to town. He kept having to deal with these mundane things like cabs and money and.
Right.
And,
had to wait in line.
He had to wait in line, and I got a big kick out of this, universe traveling, all powerful doctor having to deal with those little things like that. Yeah.
I also like the what people think of her in that scene.
Right.
When she's like,
drunk.
they think I'm in a costume. Oh, they think I'm a drunk. They think I'm in drag. It's just very, very funny.
I actually thought that this took place last Christmas. They landed the day that he regenerated. In London.
But I can see if you're watching it going, as you go back that same day. This is a very fast-paced episode. I mean, that's something that's different. There's not a lot of the setup and build-up that sometimes takes a while. This is from the get-go, from their fight inside the TARDIS. You keep going, and it works really well. I mean, there are some slow parts during it, which is nice because you need that little bit of break when they're talking. But most of this is just the way it's shot and edited, and you keep going. Them trying to get the taxi has that fun, jazzy chase kind of music that's going along with it to make it get a little more farce.
Yeah.
And
the music changed a lot in this episode, but it was
done so
really well.
It fits.
And that moment when Donna sees the TARDIS coming after her, the music has this the cavalry has arrived crescendo, and that's also punctuated by her going, "You've got to be kidding me!" And it's just very, very funny, very, very well done.
Is it the same music in the end? Because at the end I wrote a note about the music feeling like swashbuckling music.
It's very swashbuckler kind of dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a couple good references here too, like when they're doing they do the scene that they always have to do with a new companion, seeing the TARDIS. So you just see Donna, and she's not talking; she's just freaking out. But at the same time, the doctor's trying to figure things out, and he says, "Your husband, is he portly with a zipper on his forehead?" Little Slovene reference, and it's done so well and so casually. You're like, "Oh yeah, he's referencing to when they met the Slovene before." Well, I always have to remind myself, David Tennant never met the Slovene. That was Eccleston.
Oh, that's right.
So Tennant never had an episode with Slovene. So he's referencing something as an actor that he never did.
But as a character, we totally
And we just buy it as a
didn't
character.
think about that.
And then when he's at the ATM, behind him, the department store is Henrik's, which is where Rose worked. So, they're just throwing in little things, little touchstones to, they're transferring to a new season. Rose is gone, but little comfort moments I like.
I did like her reaction when she saw the TARDIS and figured out it's bigger. She's like, no, I can't. This is too much. Not handling this. I'm walking away from this. And the camera angle just zooms in really quickly on her. Just that camera adds an emotion to it without even registering it.
What I do like is instead, unlike everyone else, she didn't go, "It's bigger on the inside." She walked away. She's like, "Nope, I'm not dealing with this. I'm out." I'm like, "I've had enough. I'm going."
This is not fit reality. I'm going away. This is just too much.
The TARDIS flying through
The freeway?
the freeway. Is this the first time as viewers we've seen the TARDIS actually perform more like a spaceship or a aircraft flying?
I think it is.
Pretty much.
I don't remember them.
The only other time is at the end of Parting of the Ways, where it goes forward and deflects those missiles. But as far as being earthbound and moving like an aircraft, I think this might be the first.
I don't think they ever had the money
Right.
to do something like this before. So
So it was definitely,
A geek out
whether or not it
moment.
would happen before, it was a geek out moment. It was great.
Well, that reminds me of another geek out moment, if I may. In the beginning, when the TARDIS is just spinning in space, it looks great to me because I've seen classic episodes where it's literally a model dangling by some fishing wire. Yeah, and it's just like, really, guys? So to see that
with a lump of clay being a nearby asteroid or something.
Well, and this episode, we watched it twice because the first time it's just so fast and so fun. Like I barely took any notes just because I'm just enjoying the
I
ride.
actually made a point. Like I was enjoying it so much. I didn't make a point to keep looking down to write anything. Plus I just watched it before I came over here. So
I do like that the doctor's beginning to give it back to Donna in the middle of this. When he's like jump, 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 and she's like, "I'm in my wedding dress," and he's like, "Yes, you look lovely. Jump." He's beginning to figure her out and what works with her.
And I think we have to note that the doctor vindicates Brian in this scene.
Who's Brian?
Brian, who's sitting at this table.
Yes, I am
I thought you meant in
vindicated.
the episode. Oh yeah, Auburn pointed that out too.
when did the
No, we
table
don't
get
mean
here?
that. The viewers can watch it and figure out for themselves.
We have viewers. They see us in this audio medium.
The listeners can. We don't need to.
So Frank, when Donna asks,
Where-
"What
What
happened to your friend?"
He says Rose is very much alive. His partner,
Then he
very much
uses
alive.
that to make Donna trust him. "No, my friend is gone. She's lost, but she is so very much alive." Yes, she is. And
Rose is
to be
not
honest
dead.
with you, in the episode, I love that moment. So I know we're like playing up on a joke too, but I don't want us to. That's a very, very powerful moment. I think Tennant really sells that really well.
I
where he's
believe,
like,
yeah.
she is so very much alive.
And it's very powerful for the doctor because he just said goodbye to her.
Yes,
I mean, it was, remember at the beginning of this whole episode,
it was like half an hour ago in his time frame.
right, that it ended, that she is gone and she is gone forever. And for him to then be able to switch out, she's not dead. She still is alive. She has a life to leave. So it gives him a little bit out of that depression and sadness that you saw at the beginning of the last episode, or at the end of the last episode.
And I know Brian likes it when I bring up the hero's journey, but following Donna's journey so far, she's refused the call to adventure, which is, no, I can't go into the TARDIS because it's bigger on the inside. And then now the doctor is saying, trust me, come into this world with me. And that's her acceptance of the call to adventure.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, my behind the scenes is Donna's in the cab.
Oh, I have
she
that note
takes
too.
off the veil.
In the back seat, there's a quick shot of her taking the veil off.
And the
Because-
reason she does that is because later on they do a lot of green screen. and the veil being partly see-through
It can
messes
interfere.
that up. So she had to be able to take it off and not have it for later on. So it
wonder-
seemed like a good point to do it. Just like, okay, this is now bugging me a bit, especially with everything going on.
I
she
thought
did
it.
it
She's so
naturally.
angry at that moment.
Well, yeah. I'd be curious at what point in production did they realize that and make a point? Like did someone think ahead, or were they?
It was thought ahead.
It was.
And
Thought
that was in the commentary, but they didn't say when or how. But
Probably, knowing them, it was probably in their run through. I don't think it was in the original script, but it was before they started
Yeah, well,
filming.
I'm sure the special effects person was reading the script. Was like, oh, we can't do this if she's is this going to involve? Or he saw the veil and the costume. They probably get pictures and stuff. It's like, is any of this going to be a problem?
they also don't film in order, so they could have
Right.
done some of the green screen first and found that being a problem, and had to then go, well, some point she has to lose it.
Right.
Where are we going to do that?
it was a perfect place for it.
Because the first shot that she does look outside of the TARDIS, she has the veil on, and I
Yes.
think they probably realized then maybe is from what Josh is saying.
Yeah, if they shot that.
There is also a tiny blooper when she's getting the cab, because Catherine Tate was wearing white sneakers when you never saw her feet. So, they didn't want to call attention to that, and it's more comfortable shoes. So when she was running, she always had her wedding white shoes on. But there is one scene where she's getting into the cab and you can see she's wearing her white sneakers. I never would have noticed, but they brought it up in the commentary.
Yeah, it's not a big thing.
But it is still.
I did notice white sneakers, but I didn't notice the wedding shoes. So I was all like, she wore white sneakers to her wedding?
I know people who would have done that.
Yeah. And then when she took off her veil, I was like, you forgot it. You're trying to get to the church. I'm like, you're not going to look as the way you want it to look. So it was like, it bothered me that she forgot her veil in the cab.
And to me, it was more like, I just have to get there. And it's like, okay, take this off. I just have to get there, and not thinking that much ahead of time of what she would look like. She just wanted to get to the location.
And I'm reading it as the irritation of it's in her way as she's sitting down, and she's so over the top at that moment. She just fully intending to go back and, put it back on later, like maybe when they get closer to the church.
I didn't get her frustration at all at
Yeah,
that
I
point. It was
did.
just sort of, okay, take it off. I'm gonna get to
I
the
did
wedding.
get frustration, but that's why it had an intention of being
Right.
put back on. So I'm like, you forgot it.
Because that was before she
she's
took the mask
leaping.
off.
She's leaping.
From a moving car,
I'd forget it too. I mean,
I just want to make it known that I also had the same note that Brian and Frank did. They park the TARDIS on the roof of a building, and Donna is saddened that she missed her wedding. The Doctor gives her a ring that will block her from being detected by the other Santa robots. He tells her he encountered them last year, but she says she had a hangover and missed the whole spaceship over London thing. The Doctor asks Donna what she does as he scans her with the sonic screwdriver, trying to find out how she was able to get inside the TARDIS. She tells him that she is a secretary for H.C. Clemens, and that is where she met her fiancé Lance. He is head of human resources and brought her a cup of coffee, and they hit it off. That was 6 months ago.
It was a great little scene where they bond on the rooftop.
Yeah, because you just went from climactic moment with the action sequence of the cab chase scene, and you need this moment to like breathe and relax.
Right.
And the Doctor opens up to Donna.
Yeah.
Tells her, he distracts saying, well, what's up with you? And then he is saying back to the theme of, you're an ordinary person. So what makes you special? He's like, you're not powerful. You're not this, you're not that. And she's like, well, thanks. But
Right.
in his own way, that's the Doctor just being like, but I love ordinary kind of a thing. So
He takes off his suit jacket, and gives it to Donna to like warm her up.
it's a nice little
Yeah.
moment.
And I was like, thank you. She's freezing. It's December.
Even though she's probably like, I don't need this, I'm fine.
It's the adrenaline. She's percolating at this point.
But even though this is a slow scene to stop, to slow down the pacing, it's not just exposition. It's good character development,
Yeah.
which is really done well. So you're still invested in this. It really was a great Doctor moment. Her telling what her story is, and him going, you've only known each other for 6 months and you're getting married. As being, okay, this is going to be quick. Why? What's going on?
And she's, talking to him, oh, what about your friend? Oh, last Christmas I was just over there. And there's also little funny bits too, where she's like, oh, I didn't see the spaceship at a hangover, which begins the theme of Donna missing everything. Even I like the scene a lot.
And her memories of Lance, about how he
Oh, yeah.
would go after her and chase after her and plead with her to marry him.
And we keep cutting to the reality of it.
Donna.
He's running down the stairs. She's chasing him.
Please.
That's why I think the Doctor's comments about her being ordinary were so painful for her.
Yes.
Because she's this not just ordinary, she's unlikable ordinary.
Yeah. That's how she sees
She
herself.
sees herself. She sees herself as the fat, ugly girl that no one likes, and that she only gets what she wants because she has to push really hard for it.
But she's not defeated. I mean, she goes, when he's telling her and kind of berating her, she goes, so that friend who left, did she punch you in the face before she, because she still fights back. She's still feisty. She still has that. It's not.
Because she's had to learn to be feisty,
Right.
because people have put her down. So you're like, you're not going to put me down as well. So she's learned to stand up for herself and be like, I'm who I am. And yes, I'm a temp. And yes, I do this, but you're not going to put me down. And I think that's what is great about Donna is that, yeah, she's ordinary, but she has excelled so much because of her own persistence. And that's why she's this amazing human being instead of just this bland, ordinary girl.
Right. Back to what you guys were saying about Donna and reality being what she's telling the doctor. It reminded me of Love and Monsters with Elton.
Yeah, I did think that
Yeah.
too. This time. Since they missed the ceremony, they decided to go to the reception hall to see if anyone was still there and find the party in full swing. At first, Donna is angry that they had the reception without her, but when everyone attacks her with questions, she fake cries to stop them and get sympathy. The reception continues, and the doctor finds a videographer and watches Donna's disappearance. She was transported by Huon particles, a type of energy that has not existed for billions of years. He realizes the ring he gave Donna won't work against them. Just then, more Santa robots show up and remotely activate the Christmas tree ornaments to fly around the room. The ornaments are bombs that dive at the guests and explode. The doctor uses his sonic screwdriver on the DJ's sound system to short-circuit the robots. He examines one of their heads and finds that they are being remotely controlled by something else. And I'd just like to say that at my wedding, had I been mysteriously abducted, when I came back and if I had found you and your family and my family having the party, I would have killed each and every one of you. I think Donna reacted mildly.
But you called and said you were on Earth.
Brian, I just wanted to point out, before they go into the reception, Donna says to the doctor, you're going to do all the explaining. Once they get in there, the doctor is standing behind Donna. And if you notice, as everyone starts yelling at her, Donna gets herself out of that situation. The doctor doesn't say a word.
Right.
And this is actually the second point that the doctor is positioned behind Donna. Earlier, when they're running around town, the doctor is running behind Donna.
That's true.
Usually it's the
That's a
companion
really good
that's
point.
running behind the doctor.
She's crying and crying and and she turns, she looks at the doctor and winks.
Yeah.
And to me, that's the moment that seals it for the doctor. That's where the doctor is like, I like her a lot. I don't know if all the viewers would like that moment, but I do.
And that's the thing. When I saw that that viewers would probably think, man, she's so manipulative. Just being like a girl, crying to get herself out of it. But then the doctor's kind of like, yes, she's using what she can to do what she needs to do. Like, she will use any form to get out of a situation, and he admires that instead. So
I think under normal circumstances, people might think that she's manipulative, but they had the party without her. And even if they thought this weird thing, she disappeared, then they just party. I think that they deserve to be manipulated in that moment.
I agree.
So, but yeah.
Yes, I totally agree. And also, again,
But just so you
mean,
know,
we
Brian,
can't say it enough.
Frank didn't do anything. It's like getting mad at someone for something you did in a dream you had.
Don't go there. Speaking of which, Christmas trees kill.
Yeah. I like that I switched that up.
I posted every Christmas day, be careful of the Christmas trees, they kill.
I do like that they changed it up, but brought back the reference from the last Christmas special.
Something old.
And they also brought back the music. So when the Christmas trees were going crazy in the Rose's apartment, they did Jingle Bells in an odd way. This is a different take on that.
In like a minor key or something. It's just, it sounds
So it wasn't
ominous.
exactly the same music,
Yeah,
but it was
it's not.
Jingle Bells going crazy with all the bombs going off.
Tying in those two things, Donna is livid at everybody. And then, yes, she manipulates them to get their sympathy. But then everybody, Donna and the guests, everybody seems to be fine. Donna's out there dancing in a way.
Yep, she's with Lance.
when the doctor is figuring things things out. So that is the family dynamic, apparently. So it works for them. They get over it really quick. And then you also notice that when the doctor does go through, he discovers the Santas are there, they're all in danger. He says, Donna, we have to leave. Donna says, this is my family. It's just their crazy family dynamic. It's not really, she's just livid, but at the same time, it's like, and these are my family and I love them to death.
Yeah, and also earlier when she's crying, I don't see that so much as manipulative. She's diffusing the situation.
Yeah. Every family has
She's
a weird
probably
dynamic.
been crying to get people to stop yelling for a few decades.
It's not the first time she's done it. Just put it that way.
Yeah.
But something that I did notice in this was, again, they bring up there's 2 kids by the tree, and then the kids have to run away and be saved as well. And it's the second time in the episode that they bring in children, and the kids can actually see themselves in the situation. So the kids are watching the doctor save Donna, and then the kids need to be saved. And then later on in the episode, again, kids being saved. So it's just a really good immersive experience for children, because now they're watching the screen where they can identify with someone on the screen.
I wonder if that's they put that in more too, because it was a special that
Probably.
more kids would probably have watched.
Yeah.
Then, like more of a family friendly episode.
Yeah, but at the same time, for a whole group of different people, because this is still 2006.
Yep.
So this was 2006. I remember watching this with Frank and went, there's 2 guys dancing.
Oh, is there?
No mention is made of it. It's just you pan across everybody dancing and
It's
2 guys
because
are
they're
dancing.
drunk at a party.
But again, it's just kind of like, oh, look, there we are, It's just nice. And they don't make a big deal of it. In the first season, and then going through the second season, when we all discussed, are they in love? Is the Doctor and Rose? Are they a couple? Are they in love? What's going on here? This is a scene where you just look at it and go, oh, yeah, they're in love.
Yeah.
They were in love 100% because he is heartbroken utterly and completely. When, if you're that person and you're watching somebody else and they do a dance move and it reminds you of this woman, you're in love. And he's just heartbroken in this scene. So it's like that answers the debate. Nobody can watch that scene and say, nah, maybe not.
Because even in the commentary, Julie Gardner and David Tennant discussed that moment. Like, he's getting over the loss of Rose.
Yeah, this is his breakup.
Yeah.
Post-breakup episode.
He takes the phone from someone else or borrows the phone.
Right.
Sonics it and finds out that Torchwood owns
H.C. Clements, Donna's
Place of employment.
his look of when Torchwood's now still involved. It affects the wound so much that there's so much anger, and I want to say even hate to Torchwood, because they are the big bad. They are the ones who caused him to be separated from Rose.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that they're now still affecting all of this, and they're the reason. It just,
He
I
did
can just
get rid
see
of them.
that is, yeah.
They're not gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
not
they
gone.
wouldn't be. Like you said, this was a couple hours ago.
No, but
Oh,
But
wait,
it's just-
wait,
it's
no.
such a raw-
It was a 6 month. Okay, never mind.
No, from the doctor's point of view, it's only
Yeah.
been a couple hours since he said goodbye to Rose, and
But
he
it's
still
been like
blames
6
Torchwood.
months since Canary Wharf, right?
Yeah.
It's been like 6 months since
Yeah,
Canary
something
Wharf.
like that,
Okay,
yeah.
so you're right. It has
Something
been.
like that,
It
yeah.
has been a while since.
Well, as a viewer, but as a doctor,
No,
not the doctor.
No.
As Donna, Lance,
Since
as the
Canary
Earth.
Wharf.
Right.
Yeah.
and then Canary Wharf, because it was a while for him to come
Yeah.
back. To
Yeah,
say
and I was
goodbye.
thinking that Canary Wharf just happened, but that was a mistake.
No,
Canary
it was
Wharf
like 6 months ago.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think it's funny that he uses the Sonic to turn the phone into a smartphone.
By the way, lucky guy.
I know that.
You borrow my, and now it's like, what is my phone doing? This is the greatest thing. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna go to Apple real quick.
The guy's like,
I have an idea.
from that phone, the guy was like, I just wanted to play Snake.
What happened to my Minesweeper? It's blowing things up.
It's sweeping my own mind. To geek out a little further on this, when the Christmas tree ornaments are coming to life and being deadly, it reminded me of an anime called Robot Carnival, where it's sort of the same motif is done, where it's little like music box ballerinas and army men that are actually grenades. So that's something that I geeked out in that moment and compared to, but nobody else here will understand.
I also want to know how much that stuntman got paid to land in the cake. Because that was a great effect. That was awesome.
Once they were at the wedding, then they say, no, we're having somebody go into the cake.
Yes, they
Yeah.
did on the commentary.
Yeah.
It's like, you have one take.
Yeah, one cake.
Because Torchwood owns H.C. Clemens, the Doctor, and Donna, along with Lance, who is definitely not Mickey, go to the offices to find out more about the origin of the remote signal. Donna doesn't know about the Battle of Canary Wharf, or the Cybermen invasion, or Daleks in the sky. She was in Spain, scuba diving. The Doctor comments that she keeps missing the big picture. Donna and the TARDIS have something in common. They both have Huon particles inside them. When the ones in Donna were activated, they pulled her into the TARDIS. The three of them make their way down to the lowest basement in the building and search the deserted corridor to find a laboratory. It contains tubes creating Huon particles by using water from the Thames, which is right above them. They also find a gaping hole to the center of the Earth.
I think that's funny that you almost called Donna Rose, because when they're on the segways,
Yeah.
it was such a Rose and Doctor moment. I was like,
They're laughing, yeah.
I mean, even that moment, it's just all three of them going, and then the look on Tennant's face is so stern and serious, and then it cuts to the reactions like, oh, we're having fun.
I did not like the segue until Donna starts laughing at just this craziness of the whole situation.
Yeah.
That sold it for me. Then Lance is just, what are you
What?
guys laughing at? What's going on?
Yeah.
It's like,
And this is the beginning for me where I noticed the colors like really being the forefront of certain scenes. Like right now, I think we get the greens.
Yeah, and they sprayed down the tunnel.
Yeah,
so
to
that's
be
really
more
reflective. It apparently would also make a good prison later. Just saying. You know, when they're looking all around and they see the hole. I love the Doctor's comment. Oh, a hole to the center of the Earth. How very Torchwood. Yeah. Again, they're just messing with things that they should not be messing with.
have we gotten to the point where Donna does say something like that? Like they built a secret laboratory underneath the iconic.
Yeah, under the Thames, the Thames flood basin.
Didn't Gwen say that in Torchwood? I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
Gwen-
she
I
did
don't know
say
if
something
Gwen
like
said
that. It might not be exactly, but the sentiment was exactly the same.
Yeah.
So you're hiding in plain sight. It's also a nod to classic Who fans because UNIT is headquartered underneath the Tower of London.
Oh, okay, cool.
Classic.
no, it's like
no one's
everybody now
supposed to know.
knows.
Yeah, no one's supposed to know
It's a
that.
secret.
Yeah.
So it's a line that worked on many
levels, yeah. Where he's, yeah, imagine that. Yeah, that's true. A voice announces that it has waited so long for this day. Lance runs off. So maybe he's not Mickey, he's more like Adam. The Doctor calls out for her to show herself, and she transports down from her ship orbiting the Earth. She is the Empress of the Rachnos, a long-thought-dead, spider-like race. As Donna taunts her, Lance approaches the Empress from behind with an axe, prepares to swing, and begins to laugh. He has been working with the Rachnos all along. It was his job to drug Donna with the Huon particles every day in her coffee. The Empress says that they need Donna because she is the key to what is buried at the Earth's core, but the Doctor Man is expendable. Before her robots can fire, the Doctor activates the Huon particles in Donna, which calls the TARDIS to them, and they escape.
Now, I don't get why Lance pretended that he was going to hurt the villain.
He's a mean.
Yeah, but that, yeah. I mean, I get why he did it for the show because it creates tension. Then all of a sudden, there's the reveal. But it just seemed there was no point in doing that. At this
He did it to hurt Donna.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't like Donna. Like
He hated Donna.
hated her.
Yeah.
He was seeing how far he could
I
carry
think we're
it.
missing a spin-off with the Rachnos and Lance as the comedy duo that like there's months of this happening before we get to see them.
Here he goes again.
Yes.
Oh, that silly Lance.
It's the villain that got away from Mr. Pockets.
Lance kept trying to get away from them, either to try and warn the Rachnos about the Doctor knowing, because he didn't want to go down into the basement. He was always trying to get away.
Right.
So he's just trying to get to her. And then I think this part of grabbing the axe was like
Spur of the moment.
a spur of the moment. Oh,
Yeah.
the look on your face, having fun with it and being pompous and arrogant and hating Donna and going, haha.
'Cause
He
he-
couldn't
'cause he-
dig that into her. He
know,
couldn't get that laugh, haha, to her without it.
He came out of the corridor wherever he was, or the little hatch thing, and sees that the Rachnos is there and the Doctor and Donna sees him. So he's playing it up. He is cruel. And boy, it's so.
He didn't go there with the idea of doing it.
No.
I think it was
was-
as a character. He wanted to get to his partner.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
And then found the axe and it's like, I'm playing this up.
Yeah, he's gonna have fun with it. It's like, haha, this is gonna be one great dig on her. I'm gonna get her back for that 6 months of torture she put me through.
Because he didn't see any of the good attributes of Donna.
Right.
He only saw the negative and the bad.
And even in the middle of it, she says, "But I love you." Oh, it's so sad.
No, just
And she's standing in
Tore my
front of the
heart.
Doctor.
Thank you. I was about to
Sorry,
that
did I
as
spoil
well.
that?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, but she is, at least if she's not standing in front of him, she's a step forward.
I think she steps in front of him when they go to shoot him.
Yes, she does step in front
that's
of him
what I
at
was
that
talking
point,
about, yeah.
definitely. I think the Rachnos is a study in non-subtle acting.
Spiders are very over the top.
Wow.
I thought the makeup and the effects on it
practical.
were great.
It is amazing.
They made the eyes
I
blink.
wonder if they digitally hid things or if they just covered it up really well.
Well, I also wonder too if the actress felt constrained in whatever
She did.
She did.
Very much. And in pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
she was
kneeling.
kneeling. She was kneeling the entire time.
Oh man,
They said she was on like a seesaw, but at the end of it, and then they would lift it up and down.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and kneeling on the seesaw the entire time. After, what did they say, 3 hours of
3
makeup?
hours in makeup, yeah.
Yeah. They, I don't know about getting rid of puppeteers, but they did say the only thing digital was the blinks.
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
eyes.
I wondered that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked good. But
It looks
Yeah.
great.
Yes.
ironically though, but the close-ups of her mouth, you could see her lipstick line
Yeah.
in the inside of her mouth.
Yeah, yeah. But I also feel it's like this is Doctor Who. This is a show for kids, and so this is the over the top mustache twirling villain, and this is a Christmas special, and Russell always likes to go a little over the top on Christmas. He just likes that feel, and so it's like we do just have this over the top. Wow, what is she? How did she just say that? Moments.
I don't mind that so much if the actor goes for it.
And she did.
Yeah, and she did.
My little nitpick on the character was I wanted her own eyes to be fully black.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
They don't
Just to
the
match
others.
all the other eyes.
Yeah,
around there.
I
That's
agree
just-
with that,
It's
too.
a small thing, but it just would have made it a little bit less human in
Yeah.
makeup as being a different race.
She's already on a seesaw. You want her to wear black contacts?
She does
as
have
well?
Well, she has black contacts on,
She
but I want
does.
them to fill the white. Or they could have, if they're going to do
That's
the
true.
CGI with the blinking, all the other eyes,
I'm
blacken them
sure-
in. But it's a little thing.
Yeah, I'm
and I
sure-
wish they would have done some other ways so she wasn't in pain. But I would take
Got to
that
suffer
over
for
it.
your art.
I'm sure that was discussed, and whatever the cost was, they said it's
Not worth it.
worth it.
Well, real quick, the actress who played the Rachnos Empress is Sarah Parrish, and she expressed interest in always doing Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And then they finally got her
She said, "I want to be a villain."
a villain,
I
and
wanna be
then
a
they
villain.
gave her this role.
Yeah, so it's like, well, you got your wish.
How did she feel about it after the fact?
Never complained.
So she got
well
what she
done.
wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about Donna's character here, you said, okay, doctor, you explain to the reception what happened, and then Donna does it, or, doesn't let him talk. And then here, we always talk about the doctor's weapon is words, but you notice the doctor's not saying anything. It's Donna who steps up to distract the Rachnos.
Spider's just a spider, and an
Yeah.
axe is just an axe.
And she's the one stepping up front and center to distract the Rachnos.
But I liked when everything switched, and she still doesn't get it because she still loves Lance and still
She's in
believes in
shock.
him. That the doctor physically turns towards her, going, "You're going to need me," because the doctor's figured it out and knows everything that's going on. This is going to hit her hard.
Yeah.
and he's there, and he knows that.
Yep.
Yeah, he really feels bad for her.
He just went through it.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh, no, we're not doing that. No, sorry. The Doctor takes the TARDIS 4.6 billion years into the past to the beginning of the Earth's formation to see what is at the planet's center. A Rachnos ship arrives and begins to pull rocks and gases to it to become the core of the Earth. Back in present day, the Empress needs a new key since Donna is gone and forces Lance to drink the Huon particles. The particles activate in his body and pull the TARDIS back. The Doctor is able to land the TARDIS outside the basement, but Donna is still captured and placed in a web next to Lance. The Empress activates the living particles inside both of them and sends the particles down the hole to unlock the ancient spaceship, freeing her children.
I don't know how I feel about that. I think this is the start of things getting very grandiose.
A little too big.
A little like the
And-
forming of the Earth.
Right.
I mean, it's good story-wise. I actually think it's good writing, but it's kind of starting on this track of everything the Doctor's involved with touches everything in the world and the universe and stuff. And at first, it's very interesting, and then by the end of this Doctor's run, I was starting to get a feeling like, wow, God, isn't there anything that happened that's just normal anymore?
I do wish that they would have just had the ship be part of it rather than
Something, or
all of humanity owing their lives to.
Or possibly the ship
spider.
was going by and it got trapped in it, maybe, or something.
But the nice part about the scene is him showing Donna outside
Yeah.
the door what's
The
going
scene
on
itself was
and the
cool.
creation of the earth.
Yeah.
Because she is. Oh, I
He pulls
now
her
want to
out.
cry. It's like what
Right.
she's feeling and all she's going through.
Yeah.
And he knows that. And it's like, he could just show her on the scanner. He goes, well, the scanner's small. So we should do it your way and go look at
Right,
it.
yeah.
Trying to pull her out of this
that
and
whole-
doing it as.
Because he does give her a
Empathetic.
moment. I mean, he does. She is sitting down, and he is leaving her alone for a moment. Her reaction, I think, is very real.
Putting the
whereas-
wedding in perspective.
Puts the wedding in perspective. Wow, this is everything I know, everything that ever was, that ever will be. This is it. It's just this dust. And then she makes a joke. Big piece flies by, and she says, "Oh, that's the Isle of Wight." I think that's very, very human. I love it. I just love that scene. And that's why every time they get to that part where they say they intentionally made themselves the center of the earth, I kind of block that out because I don't. It's like, I agree with you, Josh. It's like, it's too big.
Let's rewrite it.
Yeah. And that's what I do in my head. Kind of like, it's like, okay, I distract myself for a moment while those lines are going on. I know a lot of people don't necessarily like Donna, especially in this episode. Because,
I can see it.
but I don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's like, she's always yelling. She's always yelling. The doctor can't get a word in edgewise. It's like, but what she's saying, it's fine. It's good.
Coming from people who never had someone like that in their life.
Or they have too many
had a
people
quiet
like that in their
existence.
life.
I think it's people who can't handle change. They just want Rose all the time.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's right. This is the first new person since Rose.
And they did want someone totally different.
Right, yeah.
So they got that.
Yep.
Was this written for her?
It was not written for Catherine Tate. This was actually going to be a regular episode inside
Yeah.
season 2. This was so the Runaway Bride style episode was going to be with the Doctor and Rose.
And a Runaway Bride.
Yeah. And then the things changed and they got Catherine Tate and they said, let's make this bigger, moved it to the Christmas special, and instead we got Tooth and Claw. So the episode that this one, if we had this as a regular episode, we wouldn't have Tooth and Claw.
So, but they amped it up once they knew, like
What
they
happened, yeah.
rewrote it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the zaniness and the comedy was because they knew they had Catherine Tate.
Yes.
With, I guess, the cheaper episodes and now the 2 Christmas specials, that's why they moved it out of season 2. And like Brian said, with Tooth and Claw.
Because they needed the money.
Yeah.
But we kind of glossed over. I want to go back a little bit to the moment when they get back on the TARDIS and he's figuring everything out and she's just in her own space being devastated,
Yeah.
which gave him the reason to do everything you were talking about. But that whole, first time she's quiet the whole episode, but it was extremely dramatic.
Yeah.
She's an amazing actress.
Yeah.
I mean, to be that good at comedy and physical stuff and then to turn
drama.
on a dime and cry.
Yeah, because she's in the foreground while he's in the background.
He's he's
Again.
even behind the console.
Yeah.
He ducks his head out from around the center of the console.
Seeing her, you realize that pain and what actually happened to her that caused the rest of the stuff.
And you have to remember, too, before this, is she's told by the doctor that I don't know the word, whatever's inside her.
The Huon particles?
It's still inside her. So she's got like this deadly Huon particles inside her. And her fiance was, never really her fiance.
She's not having a good day.
Double whammy of bad things happening in her life.
This is a bad wedding day.
And Donna is detail oriented. The doctor is the big picture. When he's trying to say some of the big picture things, she's like, stop. You guys got rid of this. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's dangerous. So it's in me. It's a detail. And she missed the big picture with Lance because she was just doing with smaller things.
And the doctor half-heartedly lies to her because he doesn't want to hurt her again.
When he says that she's
When
not
she
gonna
says,
hurt
"Am
her?
I safe?" and he says, "Yes."
But she knows it's, and she
But
looks at
because
going,
he can't, because he's lying, but he can't lie to her. So his lie is half-hearted, knowing he's not going to get away with it. And then she says, "Am I going to die?" He doesn't answer that. He says, "I'm going
I'm not
to."
about to lose someone else.
Yeah.
And also what I liked, especially about this scene when they're interacting and talking to each other, is what Rose didn't bring was because she had to grow into the position. She's there.
Right.
She's a leader. She's ready to go. She is 100% there. And she, I feel, is more on an equal level with the doctor to just to start. They're just both great leaders that people would follow.
I like the idea that they had somebody who's in her own way equal. She's not there to learn anything from the doctor.
No, and she's not there to escape from anything
Right.
either. She's dealing with the situation because it was given to her.
Yeah. I mean,
not because she was looking for it.
and she will learn from the doctor, but she's not Rose, who's 19, looking for a mentory kind of figure.
Or
And just as much,
escape, yeah.
the doctor is learning from her.
Oh, yeah.
So they're really on an equal playing field. It's not, a superior doctor to an inferior companion.
Yeah.
Being brought along
Subordinate,
for the
right.
ride. Yeah. And when she was in front, it's because she was leading the situation. And he was okay with that. It's not like he was like, hey, what about me? Trying to get around her.
Well, he kind of did in the reception scene where he, hi, I'm the doctor. Okay, I'm just going to go back there. And then he hey, I'm not used to being in this position, but I'm just going to stay here for a while.
I see that more for the comedy.
But yes, it is for comedy. It's 100% for comedy, but at the same time, character.
He's just so used to rescuing
Yes.
people.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That to be with someone that doesn't need to be rescued is...
It's like, what do I do now?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donna's going to barrel right past me and not even notice I'm there.
Yeah.
That's right, because she does need rescuing. She's got these
Yeah.
human particles, but even from the get-go, as soon as she was in the TARDIS, like you said, she was making it very clear, I do not need rescuing in the first place. I think you kidnapped me anyway.
Right.
Like, why do I need you to rescue me?
But the
Which I
reason
think
that
why a lot of people don't like Donna, because she's so abrupt and what's that word, brusque? She's so in your face, and they just want people to
Brash.
just brash, just calm down. And it's like, but that's what
and they
makes
see her
Donna
on one
awesome.
level. I mean, I think
Yes,
maybe
they
the
see
first time
Donna
I
as
watched
one
it
level. Yeah.
was one level. You see her more from Lance's perspective, possibly the first time you watch it.
For a lot of people, not everybody, but
Because
for a
it
lot
is
of people.
abrupt. It is right there in your face. And she does have those aspects of her about, oh, look at this, Brad and Angelina. Oh, look at the Pringles. Oh, look at this. Oh my gosh, have you tried the new Pringles? And going back to that. And she is superficial on so many levels because she sees the defects in herself, the things that she
Yes.
doesn't like. And she knows those are there.
Yes.
And she has no idea what to change. So she adapts, but she is superficial because she can relate to people easily on that superficial level.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so great about Doctor Who writing, especially when it comes to equaling the playing field. Like, the children were brought in, a gay couple was brought in, and now a female leader is brought in. And all those negative things that Lance mentions about her is usually what men in the workplace, I'm not saying like here in friendship, but men in the workplace think about women that they're working with. And it's hard for women to like push past the brash, oh, she's abrasive, or oh, that's too aggressive, I can't handle that. So it's hard for people to look beyond those the characteristics, and look at the bigger picture on a female instead of just those things that annoy them. So I think the Doctor Who writing was great, and they brought her in, and they have a perfect actress for that situation.
Yeah, in another actress, somebody who maybe not be as strong, it would fall apart. But boy, she handles it beautifully.
I was just going to say, if you are like Lance and do not like Donna, well, we're about to find out what happens to Lance. Take note.
Going behind the scenes a little bit, it's a testament to Catherine Tate's acting that she was never present for any of the table reads because of her busy schedule. Her first day was her first day on the job, and I mean,
And they didn't have any time for rehearsal. So she just came in and nailed it.
Well, if she's on a show like a comedy show, it's like SNL, she's probably used to having to be on, on the spot with people just telling her and being in the moment.
Yeah, but just wanted to point out how good she is in this moment.
Like the Arachnos at the beginning in forming Earth, I didn't like that. I wish they were just would, and I guess you could take it that they just inserted themselves as the Earth was forming.
Oh, like, hey, look what's happening. That might be a good spot.
So it's like this is a good place to hide it.
They didn't explain it well
But
enough.
another reference they have was back to the Ninth Doctor. I like when they put in references. This one just seemed so blatant and out of place.
Which one's that?
They bring back the extrapolator from
Margaret's-
Boomtown.
Margaret's
Oh, that thing that was in... I was
the
wondering what that
skateboard.
was.
The surfboard
That was a surfboard, yeah.
with the blue lights.
So that they can move the TARDIS away out of where it was supposed to go back to.
I'd have to watch it
off-center.
again.
But
I
it was
can't
like,
quite remember.
really, you're bringing that back in?
I
from
don't
the
mind
Ninth
that because,
Doctor?
again,
It's
that's
just-
another one of those comfort touchstones.
Right, but it's been
Rose
there
is gone,
for
but-
a whole series.
Well, it's
that
mentioned...
never
But he's
really
never
brought
needed
up.
to use it.
But it's like still attached to the
But it is-
council.
but it
it's just
was-
sort of, oh, isn't this lucky that it just have to be here rather than, oh yeah, let me go get it. It just
It
seemed a
also
little
looks
more
like it's being
forced of a-
assimilated into the TARDIS because it's all like
Right.
corally on the bottom of it.
Well, I didn't notice it. It didn't bother me because I'm used to the doctor
Right.
pulling
Yeah.
out instruments.
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
gonna,
it wasn't big, but it's just sort of,
he's going to tech the tech at this
Yeah.
point, yeah.
And
just
then
seemed an odd thing for me going, oh, you're just bringing it back as a reference rather than some of the fun stuff. I'm not sure.
But they didn't rest on it too long to make
Right.
it like
Right.
they didn't point
Right,
it
it's
out
not
to
a
the
big
audience
thing.
like, hey, remember this?
it's not like a crash zoom. Look,
Yeah.
guys.
I wouldn't have thought anything about it if I didn't notice it had like you said, it was like
The rocky,
it was like some
corally-
rocky thing
Yeah.
around it, meaning like, well, why is that on there? If it
was
was just
weird
some
looking,
gizmo,
Right.
So, and then I wondered if it was a callback to something, and I meant to ask about it, but I forgot.
One thing I did notice was the reason the TARDIS did not take her to the wedding was because of the Huron particles. Maybe this is just me speculating again.
Oh, no, there's
but
something wrong.
There's something wrong with the TARDIS. It didn't take him where he wanted to go, which was for the wedding. So I think it took them near where the Rachnos is.
H.C.
because
Clemens?
She's still part of the TARDIS. And so it's bringing you to H.C. Clemens and near the flood barriers, because that's where it's going to be needed, or that's where it's supposed to be going. That's where she had to get from.
Yeah, Doctor does say that there's something inside the TARDIS that's upsetting it. He describes it as, it's like you're trying to digest something you don't like. So, it's the Huon particles inside the TARDIS are activating and freaking the TARDIS out. So it's not working right. So there is a reason for it, but they, in the breakneck pace of this episode, they never really
Go back
reference it.
and
And I don't think, as a viewer,
It's not
you don't
needed.
need
It's just
it,
one of
but
those little things.
on the second viewing,
Right.
or,
It's one of those
70th viewing.
they never
whatever that-
address. So you're always wondering, well, why didn't they do that? Why, when you start delving into it, it's like, oh, here's the answer.
Her children will be hungry when they emerge from the ship, so she throws Lance into the hole as an appetizer. She calls her ship to hover above London and harvest humans for her children's feast. The Doctor makes his way to the basement, frees Donna, and offers the Empress one last chance for her and her children. She must leave this planet, but he will find a place for them to live. If they won't leave, he will stop them. She refuses, and he takes a remote control and some ornament bombs from his pockets. He blows up the walls of the basement, flooding the hole with water from the Thames, drowning her children.
This is back to Donna taking the forefront in this episode, because she's the one to calm the Doctor down. The Doctor has gone too far, and she's the voice of reason and I guess compassion also.
The Doctor, you can stop now
Yeah.
moment. Yeah,
It's
because the
great.
Doctor at that point, he's reverted back to his
time warp phase.
time warp self, and
Yeah.
and she's the one who says stop.
It-
And then you get that close up of him where he's like vengeful and unemotional, and then you see it change.
Yeah.
Wow, I shouldn't.
What am I doing?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I had to do it, but what am I doing? Kind of a thing. It's a great moment.
But what's funny here in the tone is that we get the payoff to the joke about pockets, because he pulls out the remote control and pockets are bigger on the inside, and then it switches very quickly to him being too vengeful.
Well, and even before the pockets moment, the swing across, swing
yes.
across
Oh
the
my
open
gosh,
hole with
yeah.
the sound effects of the clunk, clunk, clunk. Thanks for nothing. I mean,
I kept thinking of Get Smart.
yeah,
Missed it by that much.
I liked how the bad guy too was also watching her swing. Like everyone was just joined in that.
earth? Yeah, but then it does. He makes his speech, and again he does the very Doctor thing. I'm going to give you a last chance. But then again, with this Doctor, there's no second chances.
Yeah, but he didn't even tell her that who he was. He didn't
Yes, he
tell
did.
the Empress that he was.
Yes, he did.
He's not before he gave her a chance though.
Oh,
Like
that's true.
he gave her the chance, letting her think that he was just some Martian, and then after she's like, "I'll pass," then he's like, "Oh, I'm from Gallifrey." And
First
then
time
she-
Gallifrey is mentioned in the new series, by the
Oh
way.
yeah.
Really?
Yep,
Oh,
that is the
cool.
first mention of Gallifrey.
Yeah, but then he mentions I'm from Gallifrey, and then she flips out.
Yeah.
She gets scared, and I think it was a little unfair of him to mention that after giving her the chance to save herself. And there I see it as like the vengeful, PO'd
Yeah,
off
he's full on in
doctor.
vengeful mode.
I know what you're saying, but I don't think it's unfair because it's a judgment on who she really is. He's saying, I don't want you to say okay just because of who I am. If you deserve to be destroyed, then I'll destroy you. But if you only say no because you're scared, you'll go and destroy someone else some other time.
But that's the only reason she hid her children was because the Time Lords killed off the Rachnos. She says that in this. You're the one who destroyed us. You're the reason why we're like
Right.
we are. Again, Doctor's actions coming back and causing problems. So that's why she had to hide hide the children because these are the only ones that are left because the Gallifreyans have destroyed us. And so she's trying to hide them and she goes into hibernation until
So was
she
she-
can then come back and get her children.
So were those her children or her race's children?
I just
Same difference.
Yeah, to that
I
race,
think at
I
that
think it would be
point,
the same difference.
it's
No,
the same
but what
thing.
I'm saying
She is the
she
leader.
as old? So she was hibernating, so she's billions of years old as well?
Right.
Oh, I didn't get that before.
The Doctor and Donna run out as the Empress transports back to her ship. Tanks arrive in London and, by orders from Mr. Saxon, fire at the Empress's ship, destroying it. The Doctor takes Donna back to her home, clean now of all Huon particles, and then asks if she would like to travel with him. She says no. He scares her to death. She hopes he will find someone to travel with because she knows that sometimes he needs someone to stop him. He tells her to be magnificent, and she asks what his lost friend's name was. Her name was Rose.
By the way, did you also
But
notice
also
that on the orders of Mr. Saxon, they destroyed the
Yes.
web?
Oh, I meant yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And which guy is that again?
It's just
We
Mr.
don't know
Saxon.
yet. We don't know yet.
Oh, we haven't
yeah.
seen him yet.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Also, I don't think tanks would have destroyed the spaceship. They would have used like
No, they
surface.
did.
They would have used like surface-to-air missiles instead of tanks. I know how Brian loves
They were able to
mixing
get
this.
a tank.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're gonna use
budget
it.
was cool.
Yeah.
That's why she couldn't have fully black eyes.
The money went to the tank.
Okay, I will accept that.
I find it interesting that both Christmas specials are more towards that season. It's
Yeah,
not
this
like
is the end of
we have-
season 2 to me.
Right. And then the other one was the beginning of season 2.
Yeah.
With the new
It's all
doctor,
season
Rose
2.
going home. And this still is about Rose and the doctor's relationship. So they're both tied or bookends to this
Bookend to
season.
it,
Oh, yeah, that's
I don't,
nice.
it's
Yeah.
kind of a standalone, but definitely doesn't feel like it goes to season 3 at all. But it's more remnant in the ending of season 2.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, this to me is the capper.
I like that because throughout the episode, I couldn't help but compare and contrast Rose's first episode to this episode. And
Well, the two characters want something very different. Donna wants a husband and a family and a home, whereas Rose wants to get away from all that.
adventure. She wants adventure.
I do think it's funny, though, in that same note, the doctor comes back to Rose, and it's Donna keep calling the doctor back.
They also, Rose and Donna both asked the doctor if he's traveling on his own. I thought that was interesting. They both swing on a rope in this episode.
Right.
In Rose's first episode, she swung across that thing on a rope.
Good comparison. I like that. I didn't think of
I
it.
liked comparing how they find out the doctor's an alien. Rose asks, "Are you an alien?" And the doctor answers, "Yeah." Whereas Donna says, "You're an alien." And the doctor responds, "Yeah."
I also think those are very telling pieces of dialogue for each new character. You're going to see that bit of types of dialogue with every new main character.
Along with their
reaction.
reaction to the TARDIS.
The reaction to the TARDIS, like how's this person going to react?
And earlier we were discussing how the doctor sees the big picture and Donna sees the details. But I had a note here that except when it comes to the doctor, Donna has figured out the big picture of the doctor. She gets the doctor. She knows what he is. And she knows because of who he is, he needs someone. And then at the end, she's like, no, I'm not going to travel with you, but you do need someone. You need someone to, to stop him literally when he needs stopped. And to like bring him back to Earth. I get that Donna sees that the doctor can, at least the 10th doctor, can get really godlike in his power. And she sees it.
And this
But she does stop him.
And she does stop
say,
him, yes, but
"Doc,
she
you can
doesn't
stop now."
But she doesn't want to be the
She
one to
doesn't-
stop
right,
him.
right.
She sees it, she gets it, she understands it, and she says, and that person won't be me. But you do need to find someone like that.
and this will come back later with the specials at the end of the run.
Yes. Yes, the whole vengeful
Godlike.
the Time Lord Victorious.
And it's again her empathy that sees that.
She knows that he had someone and that someone was good for him and that this is a person that needs to be part of a couple.
And I just really like that Donna doesn't seem interested in him right away as
A love interest?
A love interest.
Well, because she's getting married.
Well, there's,
But
yeah,
not
there's
always
that.
the case. That's
I
going
know.
to stop you.
I know.
Well, she's also just she's just not intrigued by
redhead.
him at all, like you're saying.
Right.
Yeah. She's like, oh, this is another person, and she's dealing with it as it comes instead of being like, ooh, you're fascinating. I want to know more about you. But the doctor's treating her that way. Like, ooh, you're fascinating. This is interesting what you're saying. So,
Well, the fact that he's a Martian is not an appeal. It's like repulsive to her.
Yeah.
Whereas in the past, it was more appealing to some of the humans that we've met that, ooh, you're an alien. Whereas her, she's like, you're an alien? Ooh.
Some behind the scenes, there was, if you guys remember Bella Emberg, she was supposed to make an appearance in here. She was the...
Of the London Embergs, remember?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
From, we did The Time Warrior. She was one of the...
Which is the third Doctor.
Yeah, the serving wenches. And then she played Miss Croot from Love and Monsters.
Right.
There was supposed to be a scene with her in this special where she...
In Love and Monsters, just to let people know, Elton was going around with the picture. Do you know this? And she
She's
was,
like,
oh yeah, that's Jackie's girl.
So
That's
she
who
was,
it was.
yeah, she was supposed to, there was, you know how we were talking about like the surfboard and then all these references to the previous seasons and previous Doctor. This was supposed to be another one of those moments where this character appears and she was supposed to get on the bus with the Doctor, but I guess they just cut it for timing.
Is it on the deleted scenes?
No.
I thought that scene, he seemed a little callous with all those people being in the way of them being shot. It's sort of
Oh, when
using
he
them
shoots
as
the money
fodder.
out,
Yeah.
and everybody
Yeah.
It's like,
distract. Yeah.
good thing the Sanders didn't shoot, because they could have just shot up everybody who went for the money.
The 10-pound note features the Doctor's face and the phrase is, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of 10 satsumas and no second chances. I'm that sort of a man, which is a reference to the Christmas invasion. And then the 20-pound note featured Phil Collinson's face, which is the producer, and it had the phrase, there's no point being grown up if you can't be a little childish sometimes, printed on them. And this is a reference to the fourth Doctor, Tom Baker,
Yes.
in Robot. And these were just, around when they were scattered from the scene, and people would pick them up and they became collector's items. They
I
would sell,
would've.
yeah,
I totally would have.
and they would sell for more than 50 pounds or
I
something.
wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I would have kept it just.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I would have kept it. I actually thinking I'd buy it for 50 pounds.
So if anybody has those and would like to send them our way,
It's a pretty heavy piece of paper.
it's an imperial ton.
Just going back to the music, we like the music in this episode. I think Josh mentioned that earlier.
Yes, I do too.
And
It
at the-
seemed like, just real quick, it seemed like it wouldn't work, but it really did. What you're saying?
Well, at the end of it, they played a nice bit when Donna and the Doctor are talking.
Outside the TARDIS?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes,
It sounded familiar. Do you want to go ahead?
No, it's yours.
No,
I didn't
'cause-
want to take it.
We're trying to find out where it
know
was
it better.
from, so I think you know it better.
Isn't it? It's the Doctor's theme.
Is
it
it
wasn't
Rose's
Rose's
theme?
theme.
At the
It's
end?
it's a different arrangement of either Doomsday or the Doctor's theme.
I
It was
think
some
it's
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
From what we could find. It was familiar, and it's like, oh, it was great. And I liked it, but it was,
I do like that we talk about the music on the show.
Yeah.
I hope you guys do too. Just because
Of course.
it's just one of those things that it never really gets the attention it deserves. But
I mean, musicians won't be surprised by this, but it ups the production value.
Absolutely.
very much.
To me, when something feels like it's bigger than something too electronic or just basic, it really can open up the world of the universe of the show that the depth and richness of it, I feel.
Yeah.
I mean, our life would be so much easier if we all had our own soundtrack.
We don't?
No, just playing in the background.
Oh, so those aren't just voices in your head? You have music in your head?
It's a chorus. It's a
So they are voices.
yes, it's voice. It's my voice.
With the Runaway Bride being the second Christmas special, this also continues another trend started by the first Christmas special, Christmas Invasion, in that they have an original song, not just a soundtrack orchestral music. They have Neil Hannon's, I can't remember the name of that song, but it's featured in the reception.
Love Don't Roam.
That's it. And so it's another one of like, it's a guy with lyrics singing, because they had Song for 10 in,
Yeah, and Song for 10.
in Christmas Invasion. Yeah, so that's Neil Hannon's song, Love Don't Roam. And you can also find that on the season 1 and 2 soundtrack CD.
Yep.
That's available now. So,
What's a CD?
so who is the Runaway Bride good for? A new viewer, a casual viewer, a fan of the show, or a diehard?
This is good for everyone, including a new viewer. I love this episode. And I think, it's the beginning of a season. You'd learn a lot about Doctor Who by watching this. Also, another thing to know is that David Tennant and Catherine Tate didn't know each other.
At all till day one of filming?
Well, not until he said that they met filming the Tag of Doomsday. And then they didn't see each other. And remember, she wasn't at the table reads, and there was no time to rehearse.
Wow.
So they jumped in on that day, and all of a sudden they had this chemistry.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. And you never know when that's going to happen.
Nope.
You just don't. And it's just great.
when I first watched it, I thought it was a little slow and a little long.
Oh, I'm raising my eyebrows very bigly right now.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I think I just wasn't interested, but watching it again, I would say that this podcast has turned me into a fan of the show instead of just a casual viewer. So I was a casual viewer, and as a fan, I love this episode and loved everything about it. And then hopefully I could make people like this show. So I was just not that interested in the relationship the doctor was having with the companions. I was more interested in the stories. So now that I can see, like, because just think about it, completely take out companion relationship in this story. The storyline is kind of boring.
So it just becomes a series of events. You're not invested. I can totally get that.
So that's why I didn't really like it. So now I'm more invested and like it a lot. So I can't say it's for everyone. So I'm going to have to say it's going to be for a casual viewer.
I think it's for everyone. It's funny enough for any new person to be entertained. I think part of the reason we may enjoy this episode so much is because it's another take on what we're familiar with, and if someone's not familiar with that, they probably won't get why it's so funny. But she's so funny that it doesn't matter. I think it is more of Donna's episode than the Doctor's episode.
Oh yeah.
So to show this to someone brand new, it might be a little less than in that regard. I still think it's good. You get a good taste of everything.
You're going for...
Yes,
you
number
will
one.
show it to somebody new.
I would.
And I think they'll like it.
I'll agree with you, Josh. I would show it to somebody new. And despite, that there is so much built up from the first two series, I would even show it to a certain type of brand new Doctor Who viewer. They haven't seen anything else before at all. Because you get those tastes before, but you don't really need to know Rose and the Doctor's relationship
No, you kind
to
of
enjoy
looking at
it
it from Donna's point of view.
Right. Yeah, I'm going to go with number one.
I actually find everyone's reasons for putting it in number 1 and number 2 reasons to put it in number 3. It's a new companion that doesn't go anywhere. We don't get to continue on with Dr. Donna episodes. It is very typical of other Doctor Who episodes, but because you don't get to continue on with both of them, I didn't really enjoy watching it the first time when I was a casual viewer. But now that I'm a fan, I do like this episode because it's Donna, because I like the relationship that she has with the Doctor. I like the lines that are written for Doctor and Donna's scenes. I'm going to put this in number 3. It's a good episode for a fan.
Both you and Arlene make good points in that you didn't like it as much the first time when you were less involved in the Doctor Who and you didn't know as much. And now that you do, you get a lot more out of it. And so you do like it a lot more. I'm trying to remember the first time we watched this when it first aired, but still trying to remember my feelings at the first time. And I don't think I liked it as much as I do now. Because watching it this time for the show, again, I really, really liked this episode.
Yeah.
I really liked the characterizations. I liked the relationship. But that's because I'm bringing other stuff to it. So I think what Kelsey said is a good point, going for somebody who doesn't have that other information.
But when we saw this the first time, we were familiar with Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's
we
true.
weren't totally unfamiliar
Right.
with it. That's why I think it still would be good for someone brand new, because they have no frame of reference, where we had Rose taken away from us. The vibe has changed. This isn't the vibe of the show.
Right.
But it is the vibe of some shows. So I think if you're totally fresh, it'd be fine.
In my head, debating 1, 2, and 3, because I never thought 3, but then Kelsey made some great points. I'll go for 1. I'm really leaning towards 2, but I'm going to go for category 1, somebody who's new, and knowing Donna and knowing the Doctor, I'll put it in at 1.
For me, I remember watching this the first time. I really liked it, and I've introduced this to some people too, and they're okay with it. And I like the tonal shifts in this episode, and the music that matches with it is, to me, like Josh said earlier, it shouldn't work, but it does. And then, the breakneck speed at which actions and scenes move, it reminds me a lot of like the Star Wars movies. Things just move at a quick pace, and you don't even realize it because it's such a part of it's just a part of the psyche and in pop culture now. So I'm okay with all of that.
You loved this episode when you first saw it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I
And
remember- I really liked it.
But also, I think you were the one who was saying they're also upping their production game.
Yes.
Yeah, you also loved the fact that they could spend the money to have the TARDIS flying down a motorway.
Yes. And I remember that scene was probably the scene that like cemented it for me that this is a good episode. And I think that you can introduce this to a new Who viewer because you're going to get the comedy, you're going to get the sci-fi aspect, but it's really about the characters that drives it. And I think that's why the emotional impact of what's going on is what sells this for me. It reminds me a lot of like Cary Grant and North by Northwest and His Girl Friday. They have that Doctor and Donna relationship. They have that
The banter.
the banter, and I like that.
Tracy and
Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn, yeah. Also, I saw the weird parallel between Charlotte's Web and the Arachnos, except we don't care about these spiders.
What's the parallel
Oh,
besides
come
that she's a
on.
Like at
spider?
the end, her babies are
Some
free.
pig? Okay.
So I guess this was E.B. White's first pass that was rejected.
Okay.
So for me, I'll put it in a new category.
Yeah, give us your thoughts on Donna. Do you like her or don't you? Let us know. Please send your answers and opinions to whoknewpodcast@gmail.com.
What does everyone think of Neris?
Those are our thoughts on the 2006 Christmas special, The Runaway Bride. Join us next time for Season 3, when the future becomes the present.
You've just listened to an episode of Who Knew?
Our wonderful theme music is by Michael Grady.
You can find his work at
TheUniverseExplodes.com.
You can find this show in several places.
Follow us on Twitter at Who Knew Podcast.
Subscribe, review, and listen to us on iTunes and Stitcher.
Or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Who Knew Podcast.
All our episodes are on whoknewpodcast.com.
You can leave comments there or email us at
Who Knew Podcast at gmail.com.
This podcast is inspired by Doctor Who.
the longest running sci-fi show in history.
And especially the revival spearheaded by Russell T. Davis.
thanks to Russell,
Sydney Newman.
Verity Lambert.
Ron Grainer.
And all those involved in the adventures of our favorite Time Lord.
Your work continues to inspire and entertain. This is Dr. Ho. Dr. Ho?
That's another show.
That's my
Wow.
other show.
Whoa! Gosh, if we just had a lint brush, and I literally went, here. And from that moment on, I was Mr. Pockets. And it was literally,
Pockets.
I was Mr. Pockets. Literally anything that anybody needed, I just happened to have with me. It was very funny.
Hello, I'm Mr. Pockets.
I'm Mr. Pockets.
It's a spin-off of Doctor Who.
When I came back, and if I had found you and your family and my family having the party, I would have killed each and every one of you. I think Donna reacted mildly. I would have gone ballistic.
But you called and said you were on Earth.
This is the episode where Mr. Pockets massacres his family.
Bless my pockets. You're all party.
That's right. I could have seen you sitting at the table going, "This is a bad idea."
For some reason, the way we were watching it, the first episode didn't catch us, and we're like, "No, we like the classic. We weren't."
Wow,
Gonna accept the
I'm
first
now
one.
impressed by how much you guys have watched in that amount of time.
So
And we have no lives.
I will get
Yes.
back.